What harm do you think the Western education have done to the Africans?
Western education is the leading cause of unemployment in Africa today. The primary cause of unemployment and joblessness in Africa today is Western education. And the reason is because when a people is conditioned to read and to pass through a process of learning that has no physical application to solve problems within their environment, the people are automatically groomed and conditioned to become helpless, dependent consumers after the education. The reason why we learn or study on earth is to prepare ourselves to solve human problems. If you are going to learn inside school, if you are going for any type of learning, what you are actually going to do is that you are going to acquire a knowledge that you will come out and start using it to solve problems within your physical environment. Unfortunately, the kind of Western education that was available to Africa was not meant to solve problems, but was meant to pursue certificate and memory. And unfortunately, certificates don't solve problems in a society. Certificates widens unemployment, widens dependency, and increases the number of dependent consumers in the society. I tell people every time that when people acquire functional knowledge, job look for the people. But when the people acquire certificates, the people look for job. And so you discover, if you go to learn a generator now and you place your phone number, you will see how the rate people are looking for you. Because what you acquired is a functional knowledge that solves problems in the environment. If you have a functional knowledge of how to do plumbing or how to sell chemist, if you have knowledge that can solve problems in a society, it works. Jobs are looking for you. Your phone is ringing. People are calling you to come and work. But you now discover why Western education is very, very useless in Africa. You finish as a graduate after 4 years, studying microbiology or mass communication. You now return back to your father's house. Your phone is not ringing. Nobody's looking for you. Because what you go there to acquire is certificate, not knowledge. And so when the people acquire knowledge, the people job look for the people. But when the people acquire certificates, the people look for job. Western education is just unfortunate. And I'm going to go extensive into making you to understand why Western education is harmful to Africa. Number one, primary purpose. It is the primary cause of unemployment in Africa. We are in UNIZIK. UNIZIK have over 50-something thousand students in UNIZIK. And you are preparing these 50-something thousand students to come out of life and they become dependent consumers. Somebody says he's studying mechanical engineering. The person come out, he have no even personal rents of a car, even plug. There is no simple actualization or accomplishment or any impact this person can make to a moving vehicle, let alone manufacturing a vehicle. The person now found out all he knows is how to solve differentiation and integration. Unfortunately, differentiation and integration don't solve problem in a society. So you groom over 50-something thousand students who came out and they become helpless, dependent consumers. Going further, Western education is anti-personnel indoctrination. Anti-personnel indoctrination is when a people is taught on how to breed hatred for who they are. And so a people is being conditioned, trained to hate the ways of their fathers. And that is why if you enter into Western education, they will make CRK a compulsory course for you. CRK is Christian religious knowledge, where they are going to teach you about a white man God who is white and the devil who is black. Automatically breeding white man supremacy over over your brain as an infant. When you hear the Bible says, train up a child the way he should go, so that when he grow, he won't depart from it. The white man is actually talking about indoctrinate a child during the realm of his infants in Western education on how to hate the ways of his fathers and then begin to pursue the ways of the white man, seeing the white man as having supremacy over him. So the white man cultivated or designed education to breed hatred for who we are. And that was the primary reason of the Boko Haram agitation of Western education is a sin. You know, Boko Haram means Western education is a sin. It simply means that this is a place where our women are taught to be white. The normal culture African practice by natural default, every young lady gets married before even age 18 or 17. It puts every lady in the husband house as a virgin and under the umbrella of a man. Western education now puts numerous number of young ladies, 20-something years, even at 27, 28 years. You know these young ladies have sexual hormones and you are preaching to them about abstinence from sex. You know you have bring young ladies who are fighting against nature and you are preaching the good news to the poor. So Western education, what it does, that it creates an atmosphere of making sure that all our ladies are violated before they got married. Go and check the number of African ladies in this our university that are violated every night. The most selling products today in any student area is condom. Check it in Futo, check it in Imo, check it in in Esut, check it in Unilag, check it in Unicalaba. Any area that students are living, the most selling thing there is condom. That is to tell you what the students have. The daughters are too young for marriage, but they are not too young for boyfriend. What is boyfriend? Boyfriend is a ticket, a warrant that you are free to sleep with me without paying my bride price. So Western education is a violation of our girls and our culture. Second thing it does is that it teaches hatred for our own spiritual system. Everything your father did was evil. The third thing it does is that it creates hatred for our language. As you are coming up, you speak Igbo in your class, you are conditioned to pay. But if you speak English, that says you are a right person, they are clapping for you. Exactly. So it is white man's supremacy of making you to understand that our own way of communication is superior to your own way. When a child has to pay because he spoke his own language, what instinct are you embedding in the child? You have already crucified the child intent of understanding what is the purpose of life. And then going further, you now even start understanding the most biggest genocide Western education did in Africa, which is pulling off our young boys from the farm. Because the whole Western graph or design is to control what we eat. Because a man who controls what you eat is your Lord. If a man can control what you eat, it doesn't matter how many years you are permanently his slave. So the whole Western graph is how do we control the food these people eat? How do these people depend on us to eat? Because when war starts in a nation, the first thing and the opponent's target, the first thing the nation, the enemy targets is not the bank. When war starts in a nation, the first thing the enemy targets is not even money. They don't target leaders. The first thing they target is to block the inflow of food. If we can block their food supply, automatically we conquer them without a bullet. So the Western education was to design to control the food of an African man. And how did they do this? They begin to create a pathway by which we hate agriculture even from primary school. So if a child commits a sin, say maybe commit offense, come to school late or make noise, agriculture become a punishment to the child. They just go to the farmland and work, go and cut grass. So from primary school, there is an ideology that a farmer is suffering. So we grow up as a primary school student having mercy, having pity on our parents who are doing agriculture, meaning that these people are actually subjected to suffering, not knowing that this is the only way that holds the key to survival. We now get into the university, we now see the place where the white man did the biggest genocide on agriculture. You applied for a course, and so your cutoff mark is not up to there. They will throw you to agriculture. So agriculture become a dumping ground for students who are not intelligent. So it's come to a point that agriculture became the most victimized course in the university. If you come out from university and tell a young lady, I am a graduate and I want to marry you, the young lady says, which course do you study? You says, I studied crop science. The young lady will get so stunned. Crop science? So I'm now being attracted by crop scientists, animal scientists. So engineers are not seeing me. So lawyers are not seeing me. So doctors are not seeing me. The purpose was because somebody targeted that food production and he doesn't want that food production. So he victimizes it to extent that it becomes almost a cause that if somebody is put there, the person starts crying. So you now see that the reason why our ancestors were able to exist for thousands of years without asking how much is dollar in the market was because our ancestors were independent of the food production. A people who can grow food, a people who can produce food, become they don't know how much dollar is or euro is. They are their own lord. So imagine if we have 50-something thousand students in Unizik, and the criteria of getting into school, into universities, you must have a farmland. Show us your farmland before you are able to allow to write jam. And we now have 50-something thousand students who have farmland in Anambra Unizik. My brother, food will be there. Is nobody who will ever complain of the scarcity of food. And the second thing it does, that it prepares the young boys to ready themselves to marry. Because one thing we have failed to understand that the whole purpose of existence is survival. We all came on this earth to survive. There are people will tell that you are pursuing your dream, you have a dream, this, that. I agree with you. But the whole reason why we come to exist is survival. And what is survival? Survival means how do I reproduce posterity? I want to marry early, give birth to children, and watch my children grow in my presence. This is the greatest joy of a man, and we can watch our survival while we are still aging. So if the young boys are allowed to practice that culture that allows them to have farmland, even before age 18, you now discover the young boys at age 21 is thinking, how do I get married? At age 24, the young boy already have a boy. But the Western education today, you discover somebody graduated after 26 years. You ask the young boy, my brother, when are you getting married? They'll say, nah, because and the reason why he says, nah, because I can own the guy and even 1 million, only 500,000 na account. So, obviously the boy, he could come just say, he has been produced as a dependent, helpless consumer. So the Western education was to pull the youth off from the farm. I call for the organic restoration of our African man into our old ways of life, which I titled African Renaissance. African Renaissance is organic restoration, returning of the people back into their cause that sustain their survival. If we need to live in this country without bothering how much dollar was, every young student must have a farmland. Unizik have 50-something thousand students. ESUS have 48,000. UNN has 49,000. I have the whole census. Imagine if all these students have a farmland in UNN, Enugu, ESUS here, Unizik here, Futo here. We all have a farmland. Do you know what that means? It means that if you bring Gary out to sell, people will even be walking on the person and be asking, what is this? We don't sell Gary here. In the olden days, who buys Gary? You are selling Gary to when everybody have Gary. You bring yam to sell. People are looking at us and say, what are you doing here? Are you a joker? We don't sell yam in this community. Yam is everywhere because an African man is advantaged with the soil. When you go to England, you discover there are part of the England that you can farm, and there are part of the land where even flowers don't grow. No matter how you plant there, it can never grow. So their land is disadvantaged with natural manure of life. But an African man, any place you till is already manured. I have a farmland. I began early. My farmland can feed my family for more than 2 years without us going to buy curry or anything from the market. This was how our ancestors was able to do it. So when you come to a department, you say which department is they say they are in chemical engineering. When I ask them, okay, one them chemical and what do you have as a chemical engineer? The person says if you mix sodium, if you mix chlorine, you will get sodium chloride. You not ask the person, how do you get sodium? Can you get sodium? Let's mix it together. The person says no, they did not teach us that one. They deliberately conditioned that young boy on how to recite English language and be proud in English and solving calculation. I am not calling for abolishment of Western education. I am saying that it need to be restructured to make the people practical solver of problem, to relate with our environment, to prepare the youth to face life, to prepare the youth to become problem solver, no longer beautiful speakers of English language. English don't solve problem. If English means to be educated, that means the person who is born in London is already a graduate. Because if you are born in London, you'll be speaking beautiful English. If English means being educated, that means someone that's born in Italy is already educated. Somebody born in Canada is already a graduate. So you discover somebody is going to school to learn English language, you are a joker. We need to bring Africans back into independence. And independence starts when we pull off numerous dependent young youths and mandate all of them to have a farmland. Mandate all to have a farmland. And number two, making sure that all our young ladies got married before entering into the university, so that there will not be too much, so that there will not be. So we need to bring back responsibility to our land. So and we want to heal our society and make every young youth to become independent. So we no longer depend. It's a shame that our foreign rice is coming from Africa outside. It's a shame we are importing everything. It's a shame. It means the Western education is not preparing us for anything. So I call for the organic restoration of the Western education into practical education, no longer memory education. Thank you, sir.